Hello, and welcome to a session of 20NL on 888. Got 5 tables, but that'll probably soon be 4 as soon as one gets either out of hand because of how small-handed it is, or I get tired of multitasking this much because I haven't played, because I've only just got a new computer, so I haven't been able to play, basically, forever. And do we want to bet this turn card? Probably not. Probably not. Just check back, that's fine. King's not a good card for us. Checks to us again. I don't see much point in value betting. I don't think he's calling with 8s, so therefore we shouldn't be betting. 10s, there you go. Fine. Didn't lose much, considering both of us flopped an overpair. Only lost one bet post-flop, so that's fine. He only called pre-flop, which is minorly interesting. You won't notice until I've said this, but my HUD is extremely bare. I have 0 hands on anyone. And that's because I've just got a new computer and my old computer's completely dead. So I'm not able to transfer my database from my old computer to my new computer yet. I'm probably going to have to open up my old computer, I don't know, somehow, I'm going to have to open up my old computer, basically clean it or whatever until it works, and then try and back up my files onto a memory stick or something and transfer it over. Which is doable. The only hard part is actually getting the bloody thing to start. I'm going to call here because, we're about 112 big blinds effective with 2 behind. A little bit scared of the short stack that limped, but I don't expect him to limp re-raise that often. In fact, I expect him to limp call reasonably often. And it's a very good set mining spot. I expect us to get paid quite nicely from the small blind when we do hit our set. Ace 5, yeah, that's worth an open if you ask me. I'm not opening to the full 3. We flop an overpair. That's interesting. Interesting flop. Pretty happy, but obviously not loving it. And we flop reasonably well. When it checks round, I am going to bet out here with the overpair. I'm going to bet 150 here. Ace 5. I'm going to value bet here with the Ace 5. Can get called by worse. King Queen, stuff like that. King High probably calling on that flop on the 7-7 deuce flop. Just going to check again. I've just given up with this pot. It just seems a bit strange to get out of line. He is perhaps calling with King High. So he re-raises to 213 on the board. I'm just going to call here, given that it was an UTG raise. Not going to do anything there. What do you have? Oh, I didn't see it for long enough. I'm just going to fold here. I'm not going to get out of line here. It just doesn't seem worth it. I'm going to check call this guy, see if he c-bets, which he doesn't seem to want to c-bet. Fold there, fold there. This guy bets 95. The question is, do I want to raise? And I think perhaps the answer is yes. Actually, I think the answer is no. I think the answer is no. Because the only reason I say that is because if I do raise, and then what? I don't really want to bet the turn if he calls, because I feel like I'm value owning myself sometimes if he's got lots of cards. I don't want to raise the flop and then check to him on the turn. That just seems a strange, weird line that lets us get bullied by position. I prefer to just play this one safe at the bottom left. Definitely value betting river though. Once he checks back turn, I don't see a problem with that. Make it 220. He probably has something like Queen 10, Queen Jack or something like that. That's definitely going to pay us off here. So we can feel reasonably good about betting the river, I think. A raise would be interesting. I would just fold, but okay, so he folds. It's interesting to think about what you could have had on that flop. Obviously, lots of bluffs, flush draws perhaps that are checking back turn with the free card, which obviously is bad for us. We don't want to be giving him any free cards. But like I said, I don't want to bet the turn, really. I don't want to donk off to him on the turn. I'd prefer to check to him, let him either value own himself with queens, with like Queen Jack, Queen 10, or let him continue with his bluffs with position. Because when it checks to him on flop, it does seem strong for him to bet out. He's repping quite a nice range. So he's likely to continue on the turn, just to continue telling the story. It seems like a good story. And I can fold my weaker queens, I can fold my lower pocket pairs that perhaps got stubborn given that there was one high card on the flop. I'm going to call here with the 6-8, and we flop a flush draw on the paired board. I actually don't mind checking back here. He's not folding an ace. And it just doesn't seem like we're getting value from anything. I'd rather check. I'm going to call here. I'm going to call. We've got a gut shot. I'm just going to check to him here. Hopefully he bets out, and I'm going to call. I'm definitely going to call in position here with the flush draw and straight draw, which we miss. Ace Jack, probably just about an open. I'm not going to call now. I expect him to have like weak aces. He just checks back at the top left, and we're definitely going to bet that turn card, the 4 of clubs. Ace 8, obviously an open. He calls, and the 6, 7, 8 flop. I don't love it. I really don't love it. I feel like maybe I should just check, which I also don't like. It's a bit awkward here. I'm basically just giving up when I check flop. Checks back and the 6 comes. I don't know why I limped there. I just sort of panicked and didn't want to fold, but didn't have time to raise. I am going to raise here though. Make it 65, given the limper. I'm going to bet here as well, given that he just checked behind his option. I'm going to check again on the turn. I expect him when he checks back flop in position to have a hand that he's definitely going to be calling the turn with. So I don't expect to be generating any fold equity at all, and I'm certainly not generating any fold equity from better hands on this turn card. I mean on this river card rather. I'm going to continue a bet on this flop, just about. Oh wow, we had the same hand. Wow, okay. Oh, for God's sake, I didn't bet fast enough with the 5s. And I'll obviously be punished with the set here. Ooh, almost. Okay, so he calls flop. That is interesting, this man. Calls my re-rate, calls my flop bet. I expect him to have a hand here, so I'm just going to give him it. King 10 is obviously a bluff. I'm just going to give up here on the turn, on the 6 of spades turn. I'm not going to be calling that. I think he... I mean, we could have him... we never have him beat. You know, we're losing some of his bluffs, so I just don't see the merit in betting there. Do see the merit in raising ace king in position though. Blind versus blind looks quite strong. I mean, looks like it could be messing around. This 3-handed table I might be kissing goodbye to in a minute, because you know, can't be bothered playing 3-handed. And at the end of this session, I'm gonna discuss my live session tonight that I'm gonna probably be taking a shot at. But yeah, that's when I shut this down, and I'll probably be shutting this down in about 10 minutes. Or something. This is just literally just a little, not taster session, but just for me to get back in the groove of doing some session videos. Not a long one, because there's Euros on. I don't want to watch Poland, Switzerland. Ace King suited here. Gonna fold that. Gonna fold that. Comes to us with Ace King suited. Make it 50p, please. 50 cent. And now this is 2-handed. I am just gonna get out of this at the next hand. But I'll play ace 7s off first. I'm going to 3-bet with king queen, make it like 125. Actually, I'll make it like 130. I think that's fine. Get out of that table, move that up here. And we'll play for another like 3 minutes or something. And then I'll do my little live prep talk thing. Once I've shut down these tables. But yeah, like I said, we'll have a couple more minutes playing or something. Ace deuce button. I actually don't open this if it folds to me. I don't think it's very good. Even though a lot of people think that, and we see a big pot at the top right here, very big pot. Looks like it's going to go all the way. Queen 9, Queen 9. Wow, chop that one up. Free roll for the house. Right there. They both get it in eventually with top 2. Ace Queen versus an under the gun open and then a button flat. I don't like raise. Oh, okay, so it was hijack open. Oh, I don't like raising here. I'm actually just going to flat out position, which is grim. Maybe I should just be folding. Oh, for fuck's sake, I would have raised to 80p if I'd had time there. I don't like those spots of ace queen. It's weird. Cause maybe I should just fold. Maybe I should just suck up and fold. There's not much point in raising. Like we're I don't see the point in raising pre-flop. I just feel like we're losing money. We're not really getting that much value. I guess it is a hijack open, but he's just folding anything worse. Ace jack folds when we raise there, and then we're just playing against tens plus ace king ace queen. So what's the point? We're not getting value. Like these games are too tight for that, I think. So in that case, I guess I just fold. I don't want to take a flop out of position, three ways of ace queen. Or maybe I do. Who knows? It's a weird spot that. I'm not sure about that. If that was live and I was 100 big blinds deep, I'd have no problem raising because games are way looser, especially pre-flop. Depends on the player, of course. Pocket threes, top left. As I sit out next big blind on all tables. So the top left table will probably be the last one we play. And I'm definitely going to be flatting here with threes. Got a great price to set mine here. Don't manage to do it. And I'm probably just going to check fold. Yep, just going to check fold. Not feel bad about it. Deuce 9, nope. Deuce 7, no. 10 king, no, and that's the last hand at that table. As is the deuce 7 up here, the last hand there, and that deuce jack was the last hand there. So, as this hand, or rather, excuse me, as this orbit winds down, I will just grab some sticky notes as we pick up pocket nines in the cutoff and raise to 50p. Just write down some general thoughts, general notes about going to play live for the, well, not for the first time. I've played live before, but the first time in this area. So, first session at New Casino as we fold, obviously, because we've been 3-bet by the small blind, which is very strong, and then that's even stronger. I expect him to have aces, kings. That's basically it. Ace 8, not going to open, not going to. First session at New Casino, live, £1, £2. Aims. Right, what's my plan? I'm just going to exit off this table. Bye bye. What are my plans going into this session? I'm actually going to grab Flopzilla because it's such a good program, it might help me out. Right, the plans going into this session. Buy in for 50 big blinds. That is £100. So my planning, the reason I'm doing that is because mainly because I don't know what the game is going to be like. I don't want to just buy in for £200 given my. I do have a bankroll, but it's not a huge bankroll for live 1-2. It's probably enough, but even if I had a huge bankroll, I probably would just still buy it for 100. I want to test out what the game is like. I want to, I don't have live plays so much about live reads, getting to know the players that you're with. I don't want to be getting heavily involved in like a 300 big blind pot. My very first session. So I'll just buy in small, keep a low profile, limit my potential losses as well when I'm doing that. So that's basically the reason I'm buying in for small. And I'll probably, unless game is great, fire 2 bullets. So I'm wanting to fire 2 bullets of £100 probably. Unless the game's great, I might fire again. But we'll deal with that when it comes there. Basically the same reason as I've said before. Bankroll, basically. Playstyle. So play tight until otherwise inclined. Play Titan to otherwise inclined. Reason why? Well, pretty obvious. I don't know what people are playing like on my first session. I don't know which players to ISO, which players are tight, which players are loose, etc, etc, etc. So I'm probably just going to be playing quite tight. Well, very tight actually, I would have thought. If it's a 9-handed table, which it will be, under the gun I'm probably just going to be opening a range like this, probably. Probably just be opening like 5% of hands, I would have thought. You know, 9s through aces, ace, king, ace, queen, ace, king suited, king, queen suited. That's pretty much it. That's all I'm going to be raising there from UTG, from early position. Middle position, I'll probably open that up to something like this. 5s through aces, ace, jack, ace, queen. I'll probably raise ace 10 suited and ace 10. I probably won't raise 10 jack suited, but I probably will raise king, jack, queen, jack suited. That's probably my middle position range. And then cut-off range, I'll probably open about 15% of hands, I would have thought. I'll probably raise all my broadways. It depends. It depends how much raising there is. If it's as I would expect most live games are, especially from my experience in the other city I've been playing live at, there's not a lot of raising, which means I can open probably all my broadways from the cutoff, because I don't expect to be 3-bet very often by the blinds. In fact, I'd expect them to basically just be 3-betting like jacks plus ace king, ace queen probably flats. Like there's no 3-betting light. I'd probably open my suited aces to ace 6 perhaps, maybe not ace 6, but ace 7 suited I probably would raise. Ace 9 off I probably would raise. Jack 10 off I probably wouldn't raise. But like I said, this is just like very first hand of the session sort of thing. And then from the button I will be opening all of my broadways as you would expect. King 9 off I can expect to open. Probably won't. I'll probably still fold ace 3 and ace 2 suited, but king 9 suited through jack 10 9 suited I'll be opening. Queen 9 off I'll probably open all my pairs, about 22-23% of my range. And then small blind will probably be exactly the same as the button. I don't open a wider range. Obviously there's one less player, but I'm out of position, so that's probably the range I'll be going for there. If you just excuse me for a moment. Sorry, I've got a pretty nasty cold at the moment, so I'm very bogged up and snotty, unfortunately. So, and if that persists, I probably shouldn't go to the casino because I'll be sneezing everywhere. But we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, this is basically my plan going into the session. And so I'll say play tight until otherwise inclined. I just went through my ranges, so I'm not going to like write the percentage of ranges I'm going down, also because at live play that the variance in from table to table is so extreme that my ranges will probably be altered quite soon after I start playing, I would have thought, or at least my ranges in my mind. And I don't mean I'm not expecting to sit there with percentages of hand opening ranges in my mind and be altering them based on the showdowns that I'm seeing at the table from different positions and different players. I'm more expecting to see that, maybe if I see that there's a very tight player in the big blind, an older guy or whatever, and then I pick up 7-9 off on the cutoff, I will open that hand because I expect the big blind to fold very often. And the same way that if the big blind is very loose and is basically raising and calling very often, and I pick up Queen Jack off on the big blind, on the cutoff, I'm probably not going to raise that hand. I probably will just fold that one because it's too weak to be facing a 3-bet from the big blind. And the same goes to the player on my left. If he's raising a lot of if I'm in the cutoff and he's raising from the button very often, I am going to cut down on my range to basically just have premium hands that can call or 4-bet, or light 4-bet, obviously, given his range. So that's basically my plan going in. And what's my aims in terms of walking away from the casino? Well, I want to be up, and that seems extremely obvious, but it's worth saying that out loud often. I do want to be up. I don't mind walking away from. Actually, I'm having second thoughts about that aim. Maybe I want to play well, but then it's difficult to assess what playing well is at a live table because it's so dependent on adjusting. I want to play well and disciplined, and one of the other biggest thing is I want to pay attention to the table, and this is one of the most important things because when I play live, after the first sort of hour and a half, I do tend to drift off a little bit, find myself on my phone or daydreaming while there's a big hand coming up, and then I see 60 quid, I see 100 quid shipped to seat 3, and I'm like, wait, what the hell just happened? That's probably an important hand to have paid attention to, as he shows down 6-7 suited that he opened UTG +1. So I do want to be paying attention, and the fact that it's my first session at the new casino will definitely help that. I'll pretty much automatically be paying attention a lot, so I don't think that should be too much of a problem on this first trip. And then I want to play well and disciplined. That just means even if I'm tired, which I probably will be because I've been working all week, maintain discipline. Don't well, I don't have to explain myself. Don't get tilted and start opening random hands. Don't suddenly convince yourself in your mind that actually you can play Queen 4 suited from middle position because you can outplay the big blind. Just don't think about those things. Just play disciplined poker and try and, play well. Enjoy yourself. And if you do those things, I'm confident you'll walk away with money more often than not. So that's basically it. That's basically what I'm feeling going into this session, and I'm going to report back how it goes tomorrow probably. So yeah, I'm going to record the big hands down that I'm involved with while I'm there, record my general play and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, and hopefully I do well. So I'll update the session tomorrow. That's all from me, I think.